Hi, my name is Kristen. I'm a certified financial planner and founder of the financial planning firm Brooklyn Plans. And today we are going to be addressing a very important topic, unemployment benefits, in this Financial Literacy Month exclusive Financial Wellness Tips for Uncertain Times. This content is sponsored by DailyPay. They are a payment experience company. They help employees control the timing of their pay, build up savings, monitor their earnings, and right now you can get free next day transfers if you're a user because DailyPay is extending that to its users given everything that's going on. Check them out at dailypay.com if you haven't heard about them. So, unemployment benefits. This is a hot topic right now. I've heard a lot of questions coming at me. We're going to go over today what changes have been made because unemployment has been expanded so that more people than ever can access it. We're going to talk about how to qualify, when and how you'll get it. We'll go over some FAQs, pro tips, and wrap up for today. And with today's edition, we will also wrap up our Financial Literacy Month content. But you can check out all our past explainers on the DailyPay website under resources. So let's talk about unemployment. What changes have been made? Because now more people than ever will qualify for it. So first of all, I want to say that unemployment insurance and benefits are a state level program. So because this content is for a national audience, we won't be able to go into detail state by state. However, we're not going to leave you hanging. We have some resources for you. Check out careeronestop.org for more information about your state. And you can also check out an unemployment benefits finder on their website. So you go to Find Local Help, Unemployment Benefits Finder, and you can get more information that's specific to you. I'm going to be talking generally about unemployment and what the federal provisions have allowed for, and we will speak more about what this looks like in practice. So, changes to unemployment. Now there is something called PUA, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, which extends unemployment for the first time to gig workers, the self-employed, and independent contractors. So this is huge. Anybody who previously fell under these categories did not qualify for unemployment in the event of a loss of income. So this is a very big overhaul of a system that is now guaranteeing unemployment benefits for those types of workers. There is also another provision that was part of the CARES Act that passed in March. That is FPUC, Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation. So in addition to expanding access to unemployment to more workers than ever, they're saying that with this provision, now those who are on unemployment, either those new workers or the traditional W-2 salary wage earners, will get an additional $600 per week in addition to whatever the state amount is, which is usually capped at it's a bare bones amount. So adding $600 to it in a lot of cases more than doubles and in fact triples for some cases the amount that people will be getting on a weekly basis through filing for unemployment. And the other provision is the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, which gives 13 extra weeks of unemployment, allowing for a total of 39 weeks for most states. So again, this is state by state. You'd have to check out what the deal is with your state. Most states have 26 weeks standard, and then this is allowing for an additional 13 weeks that you can be on unemployment. So all of this wraps up to a huge inclusive unemployment program that allows for more time, more money, and more people to qualify than ever. Now, do you qualify? Generally, to qualify for unemployment, you have to be available to work and able to work. This again there may be different provisions at the state level, but that's the general idea behind unemployment is that you're able, you're willing, but you are not finding work. And that is when you would qualify. So how do you qualify again? You got to check with your state and figure out the exact rules on that level. But there are new exceptions under the CARES Act to qualifications that we are seeing specific to this time. That means that you may qualify for unemployment even if you are not able to work, and are not able to find a job for different reasons. So if you're diagnosed with COVID-19 or seeking a diagnosis, you can get unemployment. If a member of your household has COVID-19 or you're caring for someone with COVID-19, there's a lot of exceptions here, going over them. If you are providing for a child or other household member who cannot go to school, daycare, etc. because of COVID-19, so this is most parents would qualify for unemployment if you have to take care of a child right now that ordinarily would go to school or daycare. You can't go to work because of COVID-19, so people whose places of work have been closed, or you were scheduled to start a job and no longer have the job due to COVID-19. You had to quit your job as a direct result of COVID-19, or your place of employment is closed because of COVID-19. So normally if you quit, you don't qualify for unemployment. It has to be a circumstance outside of your control. In this instance, if you quit your job because of COVID-19, you still qualify for unemployment insurance. Who doesn't qualify? That might be an easier way to look at it since it's been expanded so much. Workers on paid sick or family leave do not qualify if you have paid leave from your job. If you can work remotely, you're not able to qualify. If you quit your job for reasons other than COVID-19, you just don't like your boss, don't qualify for unemployment insurance. People with no job or plans to start a job, and so you have to have a change of employment status to qualify for unemployment. So if you were unemployed before for other reasons and you're still unemployed, then that won't get you through the gate. And people who find new employment cannot still be on unemployment. When and how do I get it? Okay, so before we get into this, I want to put a really big preface on this information, because just to summarize what I've said to date is that there's all these new people that qualify, people who quit jobs, didn't qualify before, but if it's because of COVID, now you do. People who are caring for kids, people who were 1099, self-employed. There's a huge overhaul to how people are qualifying for unemployment. This happened practically overnight. The federal government said, all of these people now qualify. All of these things that have been true forever and ever of unemployment are no longer true. States, figure it out. Now, the unemployment is issued and administered at the state level by bureaucratic agencies that are not used to changing everything overnight, right? They're not startups. They're not used to an entirely new system. These are people that have been in the system potentially for a very long time, used to doing things in a very specific way and qualifying people based on W-2 salary, paychecks, right? So in my personal network and professional experience, this wasn't going to go smoothly. It was never going to go smoothly. It's a big ask. It's a heavy lift. And you're asking states that do things in a very certain way and take a long time to change, to make very rapid adjustments at the same time that you have record levels of people trying to access the systems. So when I say that it's not going very smoothly, that's an understatement. But you also have to understand the bigger context. I would have been shocked if this had been rolled out smoothly. So the when and how people are getting it is very problematic at the state level, at least here in New York. And I would imagine in other states it's going about the same. So here's how it's supposed to work. And I know it's a hard time to have patience, but I think the systems are going to take a little while to catch up and kick into gear. And in the meantime, if you need emergency income or assistance, I would also try applying for benefits like food stamps and things like that, because these systems are totally backlogged and overwhelmed right now. So given that, here's how it's supposed to work. So usually with unemployment, you have a 1 week waiting period before you can actually claim a benefit. That has been waived. So you are eligible to receive unemployment effectively immediately. However, that's not happening for most people. There's a backlog that takes a few weeks. And when you get it, it is supposed to be retroactive to the date that you were eligible, not the date that your claim was processed. So how do you get it? Most states allow for online filing. There are also states that allow for you to call in and file that way, although by all reports, lines are overwhelmed right now. But contact your state's unemployment office to figure out or look on their website exactly how to apply in your state. What will you need? Generally, it's a good idea to have your social security number, which you probably know by heart. You'll need your driver's license number or ID number, address, and account information, routing, etc., so that you can receive the unemployment directly to your account. And you'll generally need unemployment history. You could be ready with about 18 to 24 months of your employment history. That includes names of employers, addresses of employment, phone numbers, supervisors, start and end dates, wage, and reason for leaving. So if you have those things ready, could make your application process go a little bit more smoothly. So, frequently asked questions. How much do I get? That's a good question. So most states, their standard rate is somewhere between $200 and $500, and then you add $600 to that a week, and that would be your benefit amount at the full capped out level. So that depends on how much you were earning before, and it's going to vary based on your earnings and your state. So again, this is best to check with your state. But most states will offer 26 weeks, and then you get an additional 13 weeks. So you'll get a longer amount of benefit time at that level. What if I'm working reduced hours? Check with your state. You may qualify for unemployment even if you're employed, but working less than before or less than the unemployment benefit amount. What if I try to apply and can't get through? That is an excellent question. A lot of people are experiencing that. Keep trying and keep detailed records. So I would, and that is a pro tip coming, which I'll elaborate on, but I would say every time you call, keep a log and the amount of time that you waited and if the call was dropped and the results so that you have a record of your attempts to file in case that would help backdate your claim in the event that you've struggled to even get the claim in. Some pro tips for you. Number one, keep records. So I did see on a forum on unemployment that they were asking people who had called who they talked to and when because people were getting conflicting information. So keep records of all your communication. If somebody contacts you from the office, if you speak to somebody, if they have an ID number, their name, their department, so that if you do get conflicting information, you can say, I spoke to Stella from the such and such department on such and such date at such and such time, and I was told that That's a better place to come from than just saying, well, that's not what you guys told me last time. It's harder to contextualize for that person who's calling you what information you're getting and from who. And it might allow them to improve their internal communication if they know that different departments or different people are saying different things. Be patient. I know it's hard if you're waiting to get income right now, but these systems are overwhelmed and they're just not built to adapt this quickly and handle this many people. And that is a problem that should be addressed, and you can contact your local politicians. I know that some offices, local like assemblymen and women and state senators, things like that, are helping their constituents to apply and get through. So that can be a good resource as well. And my other pro tip is to try joining groups or forums for your state. I've seen a very active and helpful forum on Facebook, Help New York State Get Unemployment Benefits. And they are kind of crowdsourcing the latest information. They're sharing, they're venting when people are getting callbacks. So that's a good one to keep up to date and get tips from the community that's going through it right now as you are in your state, and see if there's something comparable for you. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to this and all of our Financial Literacy Month content this month. It's been a pleasure to help illuminate what is going on in the personal finance landscape. It has been a dizzying few months and there's been a lot of changes, and I'm glad to have the opportunity to break it all down, and hopefully you're able to navigate some of this shifting landscape with our help. I'm Kristen Uredig, certified financial planner, founder of the financial planning firm Brooklyn Plans, and this content again was sponsored by DailyPay. Check out Brooklyn Plans at brooklynplans.org and DailyPay at dailypay.com. And that's it. We have given you 6 editions of financial wellness tips, helping your family navigate these uncertain times. Check out all of the content on the DailyPay website under resources. You can see all 6 videos that we've recorded for Financial Literacy Month. Thank you so much. Take care and be well.